mode from the start. And here's the point. He has to trust himself enough that even if he makes only 59% of his free throws, if he could get there 20 times,
right,
that could tilt the game
right.
in the Lakers' favor.
Right. That's
because you're going to get Crowder and maybe Ayton in foul trouble. He's not threatening anybody with foul trouble
right.
at 4 attempts a game,
no.
right?
No.
So that's not good enough. So he made 4 out of 7 yesterday, and the one time he went to the free throw line and bricked 2 of them.
Right.
But that's okay if you just increase your opportunities.
Correct.
He has not done that, and it's been shocking to me. So now he goes into a game, and the Suns are 4.5-point favorites all of a sudden. So it's flipped wildly
right.
back and forth. So the odds makers are saying, we don't think AD's going to play.
No.
So it's all LeBron all the time. Now I'm going to get to your point. You said they're traditional in that they don't have a center who can shoot threes.
Right.
Well, wait a second. What do I see on my box score here? Wait, who's this guy, Mark Gasol?
No, I'm saying they start. Gasol can shoot,
okay.
but they start Drummond, then they go AD and LeBron. So that's a big team.
Guess who played more than Big Penguin yesterday?
Gasol.
Mark Gasol. Guess who played 0 minutes in the 4th quarter? Big Penguin. Or as I call him, Kareem Abdul-Drummond.
But see here.
So they just said no. And by the way, Gasol made 3 out of 5 threes. That'll work.
Skip, he gives you that, but the problem is that they put him in the high pick and roll, and because he's so slow-footed, guess what happens? Either Booker or Chris Paul is 4 foot from the basket, or DeAndre Ayton is dunking the ball on somebody's head.
Okay. So you can go smaller if you feel like it.
Right.
The way the Clippers went small, they did. They just said, nope, we don't care. You can put big Marjanovic of Boban in there. You know, you can put him in, and we're still going to try to stay small for a while.
Because
right?
you know why, Skip? He said because Ty Lue said, well, they don't post Porzingis.
Yep.
Porzingis is 7'3" point guard. He wants to play on the perimeter. So why are we playing Zubats? So they put him in the pick and roll. Well, if they're not going to post Drummond, or if you're not going to post Mark Gasol, what's the advantages of playing him? But you got to play a big because Ayton is 7 foot tall, 270.
He is 7 feet tall, and he wrecked you yesterday with 17 rebounds.
Just like game 1. Remember game 1, he was 21 and 16. Yesterday, he was what? 17? What? No, he was 14 and 17.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 14 and 17. So LeBron in game 1, that's the shameful game. That's the one that puts you behind the 8 ball to me. Because in the 4th quarter, LeBron went 1 of 4 from 3 and 1 of 4 from the free throw line. That won't work. And slowly but surely, even without much of Chris Paul in game 1, they managed to hold off the Lakers. So yesterday, LeBron played pretty well in the 4th quarter until a flashpoint that occurred fairly late in the game. It was 1:23 left, and they still had a chance. And if we could see this play, Schroeder drives, and LeBron thought he got fouled and didn't get a call. And there's a little push by LeBron, and he pouts the referee. He whines the referee, and neither he nor Schroeder get back, and the ball swings to guess who? Jay Crowder. And of all the players who he's afraid of LeBron James.
Right.
LeBron's clowning him in game 3, right? That we talked about last Friday. And what happened? The ball swings to Crowder and he makes the dagger shot.
Well, it was a lot of Skip. We saw a lot of that. We saw LeBron get a dunk yesterday, and everybody celebrating. And Mikal Bridges is in the corner, shoots a 3. We saw Kuzma lay the ball up, and he sprawled out there like he won the Academy Award, and they lay the ball up on the other end. Let us celebrate that. Let the people in the arena, let the people at home celebrate you. Get your butt back in on defense, Skip, because they're telling you, make or miss, let's push it. They know you like to play slow. You're not an up-tempo team. LeBron loves to control the pace. So every chance any team gets against the Lakers, what do? They push it because they know they're a big team. They are a slow team. So you're going to have to make or miss. You're going to have to get back, Lakers. But these turnovers, Skip, they had 15 turnovers yesterday. Caruso and LeBron had 10 of the 15.
They did.
7 of them came in the 3rd quarter. When you go 0 for 7 from the 3-point line and 7 turnovers, you're going to lose more times than not. Because Chris Paul was in complete control yesterday. He had 9 assists with 0 turnovers.
By the way, LeBron had 6 to Caruso's 4. Okay. So that brings us to Chris Paul. I was a little surprised that he brought up in the on-the-floor post-game TV interview that his coach, Monty Williams, wanted to sit him for the game. He wanted it known immediately, publicly, that his coach said no, and he said no to his coach. Well, how do you get away with that? Was he trying to say, I have the final say here? It was a little surprising that he brought it up because I have nothing but the utmost respect for the coach of the year, Monty Williams.
Skip, remember I said I thought they should not play Chris Paul on Thursday and save him for Sunday. That's what I was thinking.
All right, well, apparently his coach was going to save him for Tuesday.
Right, he was like, he was doing it the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why Chris brought that up either because it makes the coach wanted to bench me, but I was like, nah, I'm playing.
And it put Monty in a
tough
bad
situation. Yeah, it does.
When he had to answer and he said, I didn't want to play him, but he said, give me a shot and see if I can go.
Right.
And he looked okay from the start, but not great until the second half.
Right.
What was the halftime? They were up 4 at halftime.
Up 4.
And then here he came in the second half. Chris Paul, playing with quote-unquote one arm, suddenly looked like Chris Paul again. He looked like
mid-range
that guy.
He did.
And he was deadly from mid-range. And it's a weird, elbow free throw line shot, and he's lethal with it. And did he not look like himself? So he proved his coach very, very wrong in the second half. And I want to say, on epic games for Chris Paul, and he's had a lot of struggles in the postseason. He still has no ring, obviously. That was as good as it got. In the second half, at LeBron James, and obviously they've never played each other in a playoff series, he rose and shone, and he was, to me, the best player on the floor in the second half with, quote-unquote, one arm that looked like it was pretty much back.
Well, the thing is, Skip, obviously, Chris Paul is a great mid-range shooter, and he's okay from 3, but yesterday he was 0 for 3, so you might need to push him out and try to keep him away from that perimeter. You can't take chances because, sometimes, guys be lulling you to sleep. And you be reading the injury report like, man, he looked terrible Thursday night. And maybe they played into that, Skip. They're like, well, man, Chris can't be able to do this. But you see, he was getting to that spot about 8 to 10 feet from the basket, and he was elevating, put a couple in over Drummond, got past Schroeder. So he was healthy. Let's see how he feels after 1 day in between as opposed to 2 days in between. But, Skip, when you're shooting 27% from the 3, you might need to try a new avenue. 27% is not good. I don't care if you're shooting 73s in a series or you only shooting 10. If you shoot that of a percentage, that's not good. And considering the amount of threes that you're jacking up, bro, you're gonna have to. LeBron is going to have to give you a Herculean effort.
He will.
I don't know if he could just give you. The problem is that when he goes out, Skip, remember that 11-point lead, and then he goes out and woof, it's gone. He was plus. He played almost 38 minutes, and he was plus. He and Caruso were the only one. Caruso and Gasol was the only one that was plus. Everybody else -8, -9, -15, -8, -13. So that's been the problem on LeBron teams. When he leaves the court, can they maintain the lead if they have the lead, or can they keep it close if they're behind? And for whatever reason, they haven't been able to do that on a consistent basis. They're going to have to play the supporting cast. I'm not concerned about LeBron, but the supporting cast is going to have to play one of their better games, minus their second best player in AD. Okay.
I believe that your team should win Game 5 and will win Game 5. But to do so, LeBron's going to have to be 2015 LeBron. He's going to have to be that guy in Games 1, 2, and 3 against Golden State when he was completely shorthanded.
Well, Skip, you do realize he took like 34, 35, 36 shots.
It's the best I've ever seen him play, and he's going to have to approximate that because you know and I know it's going to be crazy at Phoenix tomorrow night, but they still, he has still played almost 40 more playoff games than the entire Phoenix roster. So Chris has played a lot of playoff games, but nothing like LeBron has played.
Crowder's been in a few.
He's been in a few, but it's LeBron. It just dwarfs them in playoff experience and stature. So now he's got to rise and he's got to shine. He's got to be that guy you keep telling me he is.
So if you're Frank Vogel, how do you start? With no AD, do you start Gasol and not play Drummond? Because you got to go with a big to deal with Ayton. Because if you don't, Ayton will have 30 points and 20 rebounds. Or he might have 20 points and 30 rebounds. So you got to have a big to battle him. But or do you start Gasol?
Speaking of playoff experience, I would start Gasol. It just feels better. It looks better. Drummond hasn't been playing much in fourth quarters anyway. Just flip it around and go first quarter and see if you can establish a lead that you could hang on to.
Well, Gasol's going to have to make the three because unless he makes the three, Ayton is not going to come from under the basket.
Well,
so you got to have to make him pay so LeBron can have a lane, because if you don't make him pay, he's going to be there to challenge LeBron at the rim.
Yeah, I don't think Gasol is half of what he used to be when he was Defensive Player of the Year.
Right.
But I do think he's better than Drummond, and I think he'd give him a better chance just on savvy and experience and feel than Drummond will.
Well, I can't. There's one guy, KK. I can't count on him. I don't know what to say about him.
Okay, and you don't have KC3 at this point. Maybe he'll bounce back.
Well, Skip, that hurt us a lot too, because he was doing a great job on Book because he was forcing him to be less efficient.
I agree.
That's what hurt him also, Skip. They got into foul trouble early. Not really foul trouble, but it slowed the game. They get the lead, and here come Book right back. And
but he still hasn't hurt you. He's 5 of 14 and 1 of 5 from 3.
Yeah.
He's a poor three-point shooter. He can't shoot you out of the gym.
No.
Nope.
Well, Shannon, they did visit your restaurant over the weekend. I know.
No, they didn't. That was closed.
Weekend. It's a
You
busy
closed
weekend.
for Memorial Day weekend?
It's not how it
Really?
works. Well, the whole reason.